The number one common reason that I see is people fighting over a lane. And I'm talking specifically for the motorcycle rider road rage. Okay, so there's car riders or car driver road rage. You know, car drivers fight for lanes. They also try to merge and stuff without looking. But the thing is, fighting over a lane. Now I'm trying to figure out why motorcycle riders fight over a lane. Okay, we're on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to motorized vehicles out on the road. Okay, bicycles aren't motorized, pedestrians aren't motorized unless they're bionic. But the thing is, we are out on the road and a car starts to go into our lane. Their path of travel is either perpendicular right in front of us, side of the vehicle, or they're merging into us. We get so upset and we fight over our lane. I'm trying to figure out why we do it. And we were watching tons of after action reviews of these different reasons. And fighting over the lane is definitely one of the biggest ones. And it's because we feel entitled. We definitely feel entitled to our lane because we're traveling, we're having a good time. And all of a sudden, somebody wants to prevent us from having good line of sight, good vision, have a space cushion. Now we have to find new escape routes. We have to do extra work when I should be in yellow stage having a great time. And that's one of the big problems I think motorcyclists have is that they feel entitled to their space cushion, entitled to their line of sight and their escape paths. So if you're ever sitting at a stoplight and somebody comes up behind you and you feel it's too close, you turn back and you go, "Hey man, what the heck?" That's because they're invading your space. So when I see somebody fighting over the line, it's because, or over a lane, is because they want to fight because their space has been taken. Their safety, their bubble, everything has been taken from them from somebody else that is more dangerous than we are. So how do we prevent that? Recognizing that it is dangerous, recognizing that when somebody comes into our lane, it does take our space cushion. It does prevent a lot of our vision, which makes us a little more anxious. And then now we have to find new escape routes that we can't see. Maybe they take away our escape path. So what do? It comes down to those three things. We need better vision, we need a better space cushion, and we need an escape path. Positioning yourself for safety, planning your ride. It's very important. So if somebody comes into our lane, however they do it, path of travel, perpendicular, or they merge with us, or they come up right behind us, or they slow down and take away part of the lane that we were riding in. Doesn't matter. Position yourself for safety. Move from lane position 1, 2, or 3, 3 to 2, 3 to 1. Maybe move a completely different lane. That way you have better line of sight so you can see far ahead, so you can tell what's happening, so you're not so anxious. Locate the hazard. Well, obviously located when you adapted when you moved around. If you had to, if that person came in, you adapted around it. Hopefully you never have to navigate when it actually comes at you. But that's line of sight. Space cushion. They come in, they slow down, and you're right on them. Roll off your throttle, increase that space cushion. That's going to allow you to see around them a little bit easier. You know, we're this close. When we get further away, you can see around. Also, it allows you to have space cushion, or not space cushion, it allows you to have escape routes. So if you're this close, where's your escape? If you're this close, you know, right here, you can see how you can see around it. You can go around me. You can go around my finger. Increase your space cushion. Stop fighting over the lane. They're going to win, and they probably don't care that you're in it. Okay. Number 2, being intimidated by a larger vehicle. So when you're riding, you have big semis, big trucks, and they're kind of close to you and they take up the full lane that they're in and they have a very small margin of error. Their big tires are basically touching the lines and you're right next to them. It's very intimidating. It's very scary. You're like, "Oh man, you're getting close. Oh, you went over the lane. Hey man, flip them off, honk the horn, rev bomb." When in reality, they just kind of messed up a little bit. They have big vehicles. They are utilizing as much as they possibly can. So how do we prevent us getting road rage and getting angry with that? Well, we're a tiny vehicle. They're a big one. So if they can only use this much on the sides of their tires, and we're a tiny vehicle, we can use huge amounts of our lane. How about we just get away from it? Okay. Roll off the throttle, stay staggered. So we're not side by side. If we're side by side, we're this little car and this is the big truck, and it starts to get closer and closer. We get scared. We can move over, or we could stay staggered. So if they accidentally move over too much, we're still safe. and they get back in their lane, we're still safe. Now they're going slower and they're slowing you down. Speed up. We're on a motorcycle. We can get out of there. Don't stay side by side. Don't hang out in blind spots. The vehicle is big and it's intimidating to you because we're vulnerable. So put ourselves in a position to where we're not vulnerable so you can get out of that. Okay. So number 3, car driver trying to share our lane. This kind of goes back to fighting over the lane, but this is the intention of I just kind of want to pull up. So one of the big issues with this is when we're at a stoplight. For those of you that can't lane filter, we're at a stoplight and we're sitting at the stoplight and a car is supposed to come up behind us and stop, but instead of coming behind us and stop, it kind of goes right here and it's like in our lane and it's almost like we're lane filtering. Now you could take that two ways. One, you can take it to where you're going to get pissed. It's like, dude, this is my lane. We're going back to fighting over the lane, right? This is my lane. You get out. Or you could be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, man, you can't share a lane with me, but stay right there. It's fine. And the reason why I say stay right there, it's fine. I'm in a lane filtering position. What's the whole point of lane filtering? Lane splitting. Okay, lane filtering I think is the appropriate term. So we'll say that. What's the whole point of lane filtering? So we don't get rear-ended. So if somebody decides to come up and share my lane at a stoplight, that means I'm protected. So I don't want them to do that because then I maybe have the consequence of a cop showing up and be like, hey, why are you lane filtering? Be like, hey, man, I'm not. The guy pulled up in front of me and right next to me, I wasn't lane filtering. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was positioning myself for safety. I didn't want to be in lane position 2 because of the oil and I would slip and slide. Then you could talk to the cop like that. The thing is, if they come up next to you, treat it like it's, oh, thank you for protecting me. It's to help you and help your anxiety so that you can focus on what's important, which is your safety. Don't focus on fighting. Focus on how do I stay safe. That's the biggest thing. That's going to change your mindset from road rage to, hey, that's taking my safety away. How do I make sure I have more safety because I have no control over what they're doing? I have control over what I'm doing, okay? That's what I would work on with that. So as a motorcyclist, being stuck behind a slow car is rage-inducing, and it's actually pretty unsafe, okay? So that's number 4, stuck behind a slow car. So if I'm stuck behind a slow car, that means I'm kind of up on their butt, right? I'm up on their butt. They're going super slow. I feel anxious now because they could easily apply the brakes. I hit them, which I should not be in that position because I should have good space cushion, but they keep slowing down. I can't reverse, so they keep slowing down. I keep trying to modulate, and I'm now in this nasty position. My next fear is that somebody's going to rear end me, and I'm going to get sandwiched between 2 cars. Very dangerous. So it makes you have this anxiety. You're like, oh, what's going on? I hate this. So now you're constantly looking for that open lane, open lane, and you take chances, and boom, you get hit by a car going super fast. And it's all because of this dumb, slow driver. That's typically the response. That's how I feel. Honestly, that's how I feel. So when I feel that, it's like there's a vehicle in front of me going slow, removed my space cushion, my line of sight is terrible. I try to position myself as much as I possibly can to a lane filtering position so I have good line of sight, but I'm still stuck behind this vehicle. That gives me a good opportunity of getting hit from behind. How do I make myself safe? And that's the mindset we're starting to transition to. I don't want to talk too much about road rage anymore. I want to talk about how to prevent it. How do we get ourselves out of that situation so that we are safe, which will prevent the road rage from ever occurring because our mindset switched to responsible safety. Get yourself out of that lane as soon as you can. That's it. And if you absolutely have to, I know it's illegal in a lot of areas. You're in a lane filtering position. You're stuck right here behind that vehicle. Here's a lane that's moving, right? Lane that's moving, that's open up. And you're stuck right here. If you have to, lane filter and get around. If you have to, if it's just one vehicle. Because your safety behind that vehicle, you can get hit. You want to just get around. But if this is a lane that's moving fast and you can't safely go around and get in because maybe you have a low CC motorcycle, just lane filter and go through. No coach is going to tell you to do that because it's illegal in most states. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a crap. I want to make sure I am safe and I don't want to get hit, and I'll deal with negative legal consequences later if it means that I'm safe. I'd rather do that. I would rather not be in a wheelchair I'd rather fight something in court, a small traffic infraction. Okay. Get yourself out of there because the main focus is line of sight, space cushion, escape paths. Do what you have to do. Don't hang out behind a vehicle. Number 5, car merging into our lane. And now here's the thing, without looking. Okay. Now we talk about motion-induced blindness, inattentional blindness, but this right here is mainly that inattentional blindness. If you're side by side with a vehicle, this is us, side by side, and they come in and then they go into your lane and they almost clip you, so you're kind of moving like this, or they do hit you. The thing is, they probably did see you. They probably looked for you. To you, it felt like they didn't. Car drivers are looking for other cars. Car drivers are looking for things that will come out and get them and hurt them specifically. Potholes, other cars, big semis that they get intimidated by. They're not looking for other motorcyclists. So they look at you, see you, and like, what the heck is this? There's no cage around him. You know, I'm looking at him right here, but my brain says, nope, don't worry about it. Focus on something else. That right there is a huge problem. So a car's merging in front of us. So we feel like they're not looking. They truly are. We're going to have an argument and get nowhere. So what do we do to prevent any of that car merging into us? Position ourselves for safety. Put ourselves in a staggered formation. Understand that car drivers have inattentional blindness. So even if we are side by side, there's a good chance they still won't see us, whether we're in a blind spot or literally side by side, and I'm looking at them through their mirrors. Doesn't matter. Assume the worst, assume inattentional blindness. So when you understand that, and there's a possibility of them merging in front of us or into us, it all depends on where we are positioned. So if you position yourself in front or behind in a staggered formation, it doesn't matter if they come into your lane without looking, right? Because you're right here. Now, if they come into your lane without looking, and now we're here, we have a bad line of sight, we have bad space cushion, and we have a bad escape path, we roll off the throttle, increase it, or we switch into the lane that they were in and take over there. Constantly move around. We're on motorcycles, guys. We're on motorcycles. We are able to move around and navigate these things and adapt to different things out on the road. And I know when you're out riding, you love the feeling. That is the feeling you have when you're riding around. You're able to just, man, there's a pothole. Woo, baby, moving around. Oh, there's cars coming up. Oh, let's go in between. Let's do this. Oh, we got to turn. I'm going to get nice down. We're having a great time. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Keep watching the after action reviews. Keep learning. Keep practicing. Have good situational awareness. Be a smart rider.